guys, Robert1 here, and Charmander back at it again with a top 5 video today. And in today's top 5 video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best hand traps in the format, seeing as last week I made a video talking about one specific hand trap in general, and that did get a lot of hate. Charmander also did try to flamethrower me a few times. Charmander. But, nonetheless, I still agree with that point, but today I have a top 5 best hand traps in the game currently video for you guys, because one, I wanted to make a video talking about the best hand traps in the game, seeing as I made a video talking about one of the hand traps that I really don't like and just really have a strong opinion against, but also wanted to talk about, you know, its pros and cons to a degree. But after that, I kind of thought about it for a bit and thought, why didn't I just make a top 5 hand trap video and talk about multiple different hand traps, seeing as if I talk about multiple different hand traps, then I can get a wider scope on the game. So yeah, today we're going to be actually doing a top 5 hand trap video, because I feel like this is probably the better one to do out of the two, and also this will give you guys more ideas of what hand traps you could potentially be playing in this format to actually build your decks better, make sure you're playing the right ratios and everything along those lines. So without further ado though, let's actually get into this to talk about the top 5 hand traps in the game at the current moment. Now obviously my opinions are a bit biased here, but I did try to be as fair to the community and everything as possible, so yeah. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, what's the 5th best hand trap in the game? Well, the 5th best hand trap in the game is Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is just a really, really strong hand trap right now for kind of multiple reasons. One, just having an effect that can literally just say negate any monster effects during your opponent's main phase is really nice. This card can stop so many turn 1 plays, such as normal summon Oviraptor to search out any of your dinosaurs from the deck, or a miscellaneous Saurus. This card can stop Needle Fiber plays. This card can stop Romulus. This card can stop any Adamantipator card. This card can stop Alistair the Invoker to be able to search the card. This one card can literally stop all of those different cards very easily just by discarding it from the hand. So it's just like, it's one of the best hand traps in the game because of that, just because, oh, I discard it and I negate one monster effect. Now normally that does sound kind of weak, being able to just negate one monster effect, but in the current game where we're in, where that one monster effect can lead to like 10 different cards being added to your hand through like cards like Despot 001 being able to normal summon and go like +6, Effect Veiler is definitely a really strong choice, being able to stop a lot of the combo pieces in the game right now, such as even Starliege, because Starliege can go ahead and search the white or black dragon, or like Needle Fiber, as I said already. It's just a really good effect. Like, it's just really good to have an effect that just says, yeah, negate that one effect, and it's not even a once per turn card, so if you open multiple Effect Veilers, you can literally negate multiple monster effects during your opponent's turn. So it's just like, Effect Veiler is just a really strong card this format, and I feel like it is one of the best hand traps in the game, being the 5th best one, just in my personal opinion, because obviously there are a lot of different ones in the game, but this is just the one that I think is the 5th best. So yeah, that's number 5, Effect Veiler. Let's go on to number 4. So number 4 is the big rock himself, Nibiru. Yeah, Nibiru is pretty much one of the best hand traps in the game. Like, ever since this card's release in the Megatins, this card has been the bane of combo decks. Literally making decks have to evolve to the point where before they hit the 5th summon, they need to have that one negate on the board already. Such as with decks like Infernoble Knights, you can literally, you have to be able to play around the Nibiru, otherwise you're just going to be able to lose the game, such as why some Infernoble Knights players play Tatsunoko, because Tatsunoko is unaffected by Nibiru's effect, and then they can just sync from their hand, and if they don't stop the Tatsunoko, well, they're going to Nibiru you before you can make the Herald. So it's literally like, it's a really strong card in general, and like, there's also so many other decks this is good against. One being Rocket. Rocket, this card is really, really strong against Rocket when you think about it, because this deck, even though the Rockets kind of find it hard to get to a negate before their 5th summon, because to get to the negate they need to go through stuff like Romulus, 2 different dragons, and also a Linkross, but this card literally just craps on dragons because of Dragon Link, because as soon as they Linkross and some of the multiple tokens with the Romulus with the Phalanx on board, you're just going to go ahead and activate Nibiru, shove it down on the board, and if they can't play further than that, well, they're just going to lose. Nibiru literally just shuts down that deck as well, and it also is just really, really strong against a majority of combo decks as well, such as Infernoble Knights if they don't actually get to the negate or the Tatsunoko beforehand. If they Nibiru you before the Tatsunoko, well, you just kind of lose because you don't really have any plays. Or against something like even Elder Lich combo to an extent, like if you do it on the Auroradon, for any instance, they're like summon 5 tokens, well, you're just going to Nibiru the Auroradon, stop them from being able to make their Despot 001 plays to go into multiple heralds and have multiple negates, and sure, they might have like a couple of back row and an Elder Lich, but at least you Nibiru'd them, so you have a big monster on board to kind of counteract that. So there is that kind of aspect as well to Nibiru. Like, Nibiru is just always one of those really good cards that can really just crap on combo-based decks, and that's why it is one of the top 5 hand traps in the game, just because, oh, you're playing a combo deck? Well, if you can't get to that negate before the 5th summon, just gonna lose. Like, that's why it was kind of weak to decks like Adamanticators and stuff, because they just made the Corki Mirror Guardian as their second summon majority of the time, so Nibiru did nothing. But yeah, Nibiru is number 4. Let's go on to number 3 though. So at number 3, and I hate to say this, is psy-framegear Gamma. I still think the card's bad. Charmander, don't throw it for me. Don't do it. Okay, hear me out. All right, I don't like Gamma, and I think that is made it apparent from last week, but I cannot deny that the card is being played in the meta. I cannot deny that the card is doing what it does best, and that is why, and the reason it's being played is doing the good stuff. Like, legit, if you're playing a card to negate and destroy, and you don't want to have the risk of destroying, and you don't want to run the risk of dealing with your opponent's board when they have a monster on board still, this card is great. This card literally says, I'm going to negate and destroy. That is the selling point of this card, and that's why the card is rated number 3, just in my opinion and the community's opinion. Like, personally, I'll probably put it lower, but because of obviously the community and stuff, and how much it's seeing play, I can't not acknowledge that it is at least one of the top 3 hand traps. It's a hand trap that is still really strong and still has a lot of different plays. Even though you got to play bricks, this card can potentially end an opponent's turn if you go second. Being able to just negate and destroy something like a Needle Fiber to stop your opponent from playing there, or being able to stop a warrior monster from being able to deactivate and resolve, because of, like, literally, and against decks like Ignoble Knights, Infernoble Knights, literally, if you activate this card against an Infernoble Knight player and they don't have any other warrior monsters after that, and they can't special summon any more cards, well, they're just going to end their turn there, because, well, they need warriors on board to play, because, like, stuff like Renowned needs a fire warrior on board, Fireflint Lady needs a warrior on board, like, unless they have Oliver and another 3 cards in hand, like an Oliver plus maybe a fire warrior and a way to get an additional summon, the deck's really not going to be able to go any further. So Gamma does really have its good points there. Just for the fact that this card can negate and destroy is the only reason why this card is so good and is the main point of this card. And honestly, if you guys want to play it, this card is really strong still. I'm not going to lie. The card has a lot of bad points to it, in my personal opinion. If you want to check out that video, go check it out. I'm sure people have, though. But nonetheless, this hand trap is still technically one of the best hand traps in the game right now, just because it negates and destroys, and it may be bad later in the game, but on turn 1, and if you haven't had any monsters on board, this card is absolutely insane. I can't deny that. It really is good. Charmander, don't flamethrow me. I know you got the eyes for it. But yeah, psy-framegear Gamma is definitely the 3rd best hand trap in the game, just because it negates and destroys, and that's pretty much it. Negating and destroying is just so powerful. Just to have that removal on top of that negation is really nice. It's why Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom exist in separate cards, because, well, you put them together and you get Gamma with a ton of restrictions. But yeah, so psy-framegear Gamma is 3rd. It is the 3rd best hand trap in the game. I hate to say it, but I gotta say it's true. It is true. But yeah, psy-framegear Gamma, number 3. At number 2, though, is a hand trap that I think we all should technically know about and all should own and should all be playing up 3 in our main decks, and that is Infinite Impermanence. Now, Infinite Impermanence is really just one of the most insane hand traps in the game, for the one reason that it's actually a trap. Infinite Impermanence is a purple card that literally does the same thing as Effect Veiler, in the fact that is, if you control no cards on the board, you can activate this card from your hand and negate an opponent's monster effect. Now, why is this card so much higher than Effect Veiler? You might be thinking, well, it's a purple card. Because it's a trap card, it kind of gets around a lot of different things, such as monster negation. Against something like Adamantipator, if they went into a Quirky Mirror Guardian, you could literally still imperm them. It gets around stuff like Appaloosa, because if they make the Appaloosa, you can still imperm. It gets around all the different monster negations in the game that really do exist. Now, obviously, this doesn't get around cards like Boral's Savage Dragon and Herald of the Arclight, but it still gets around a lot of things in the game, giving it that extra status of being just a higher hand trap in the game, along with also being just a generic trap card that can also negate a column if it's activated in the spell and trap card zone. So not only does it have all the perks of Effect Veiler, of being able to negate monster effects, potentially stopping whole turn 1 boards on its own, it also has the added fact of it's a purple card, so it just completely dodges all monster negation. Any kind of monster negation in the game, it dodges, and it also has an added effect of being able to negate a column. So Infinite Impermanence is just absolutely insane for that fact, because it's a hand trap that can literally be an actual trap card, and that is why it is just superior to like Effect Veiler, Gamma, Nibiru, because it gets around those monster negations in the game, which I feel are just really, really annoying at times. So I just feel like it is one of the best hand traps in the game, and you should all be maining this up free in your deck. I'm not even joking. This is a free of in every deck. But yeah. But what is the #1 hand trap? Well, we have only not mentioned one hand trap in this video, and that is Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. Now, Ash Blossom, I will constantly say this till the end of time, this card is the best hand trap in the game. It does so much with no restrictions whatsoever other than being a hard once per turn in the game. It can negate summons from the deck, it can negate searches from the deck, it can negate stuff that sends cards from the deck to the graveyard. It literally says, I'm going to stop your shenanigans on the spot. Oh, you hit that certain choke point and you Ash Blossom them? Well, you win the game. Oh, your opponent's about to go full combo, and if you don't stop it here, well, you Ash Blossom and you win the game. Ash Blossom literally just says, I may be a hand trap monster, but my forehead is so big that I will win the game for you anyway. And yeah, Ash Blossom, in my personal opinion, is just really the strongest hand trap in the game. Being able to negate cards like Foolish Burial, Reinforcements of the Army, Isolde, like Needle Fiber, even psy-framegear Gamma. Like, it does so much. Just being on its own, just be able to negate so many different cards in the game, having such a wide pool of things it can actually negate, that it's just, it can negate monsters, it can negate spells, it can negate traps. Like, there's really nothing this card can't negate, as long as it has an effect that will touch the deck. So it's just like, I feel like personally this is the best hand trap in the game, and I know this card is the best hand trap in the game, because you should be maining in your deck up multiples, at least 2, definitely 3 if you have a third. Like, you have no reason, it's common, but generally I feel like this is the best hand trap in the game, and it's just, this is why I think it's like, it negates everything. It can stop turns on its own, it can literally stop 1-card combos out of the arse, and it's just literally the best hand trap in my personal opinion. So guys, those are the top 5 hand traps in the game currently right now. Charmander, I know you still got those eyes for psy-frame Gamma, stop it, but yeah, this is definitely one of the, these are definitely the best hand traps in the game, in right now, just in terms of the community playing it, just in terms of all the decks playing it, and in terms of what they can do. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Please tell me your thoughts on these hand traps in the comments section below. Do you still think I'm wrong on Gamma? Go ahead and say it. I know I'm going to get a lot of people saying, oh, it's a good card, it can get... Yeah, but I understand that. I knew everything you lot were saying last week. It's just, I just don't like it. But nonetheless, guys, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely test psy-frame Gamma if you like it. Like, to honestly test all of these hand traps. Like, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you should test everything you possibly can. So if you've got the hand trap, if you've got psy-frame Gammas, if you've got Ash Blossoms, if you've got Imperms, try changing them out in multiple different decks, try seeing what works best for you. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Robot1 signing out. Hand traps, they help you win games.